this certainly isn't my normal niche of content, but if I can connect this to Sonic the Hedgehog in any way whatsoever, I am definitely going to talk about it, especially because they're already giving me all the content right here.
Lights, camera, action.
But before we get into that though, make sure to like and subscribe, because we're trying to reach 5,000 subscribers whenever we do that, and the likes really help me out in the algorithm. Also, make sure to turn on all notifications so you never miss another Sonic Boy upload. If you guys watch sports in any way whatsoever, you have most likely heard of the Detroit Lions. Two of their players specifically, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. These two are significantly important to the Detroit Lions. In fact, they were so iconic they were given their own nicknames, Sonic and Knuckles. Now you know why I'm talking about this, because obviously, with a duo called Sonic and Knuckles, you're going to have to capitalize on that somehow in terms of marketing, in terms of what they do on the field, stuff like that, and that is exactly what these two did. Multiple social media posts calling them Sonic and Knuckles. They got the art there, but they also had stuff like commercials with CBS, the owners of Paramount, so they did like little movie collabs and stuff like that. They had mascots around those two as well, and even on field, there were occasions where they wore the Sonic and Knuckles shoes. I was back in November of like 2024, especially when all the Sonic Movie 3 hype was really amping up. I wish I'd talked about it then too, because that's such a cool little thing, and they really did embrace it too. For the past 2 seasons, they've been Sonic and Knuckles, and they've really pushed hard on that thing, and it's just been so cool to see that in action. In fact, some of the fans have even embraced this too. If you go on eBay, search up Detroit Lions Sonic and Knuckles, you'll find like a bunch of AI made stuff with like shirts and stuff like that. You also have like helmets that have their signatures with like Sonic and Knuckles on the side, and even the fans themselves have brought like tarps. I have a picture of this actually, I'm going to show it here, but they've brought in things like tarps of the movie Sonic and movie Knuckles, that one poster that they have of them. It's just so cool to see that kind of stuff, especially as a Sonic fan that never gets any representation in sports, while Nintendo literally sponsors an entire baseball team in Seattle. Now don't get me wrong, just because I'm talking about this doesn't mean I don't have a favorite or I'm switching to the Detroit Lions. Obviously, I still have my team, and if you pay attention to a lot of my videos, you probably know what it is. That's right, folks, I'm a fan of the Super Bowl 60 champions, the Seattle Seahawks, the best team in the league, by the way. Why am I talking about this? Well, something big happened recently that marked the end of Sonic and Knuckles, and is related to the upcoming NFL draft. As of about a week ago, as of me filming this, the Detroit Lions traded David Montgomery, the Knuckles of the group, the Houston Texans, in exchange for a 4th round pick and a 7th round pick and OL Juice Scruggs. Obviously, this marked the end of the Sonic and Knuckles duo, and Jahmyr Gibbs posted this on his Instagram story. It's an AI photo of Sonic and Knuckles crying as they walk away from each other, obviously signifying that everything's done. Sucks too, because back in 2024, they extended Montgomery's contract all the way to 2027, so for him to just get traded for like a dime and a Twix bar, like, it's just kind of sad. Especially with how buddy-buddy these two were. Like, it felt like a real big brother duo, like a Sonic and Knuckles would out on a football field. They even did stuff like changed their profile pictures to Super Sonic and Knuckles specifically, and it was just so cool, the stuff that they did together. Obviously, it's not the most important thing to talk about, nor is it really relevant to anything we actually care about for the most part. It's just really sad to see this duo break up. And I'm not saying you need to care about this, obviously, but it just did so much with this duo that it kind of felt like they were part of the Sonic space, and to see them go their separate ways, and seeing as though Sonic and Knuckles is most likely done, that kind of partnership won't happen again. It's just, I don't know, it's just hit me right here, bro. Now, am I talking about this because there's really nothing else to talk about? One might argue yes, but I think it's still interesting to talk about this kind of stuff, mostly because, like I said, it involves us so much, but 2, I never get to talk about stuff like this, and the fact that I can correlate it to a Sonic thing is actually kind of cool, even if it's very unfortunate how that had to happen. It's also interesting that because of these two, we have the first official Sonic and Nike collab where they made those shoes of Sonic and Knuckles, and I'm gonna be honest, those things look great for cleats, how they stylized them and everything like that. I'm actually surprised they turned out as well as they did. I wouldn't have them any other way, to be perfectly honest with you, and I wish I could get my hands on these because those are actually kind of cool. Now, I was hoping for a silver lining with the story, like maybe they'll meet again in a game in the 2026 season, but that unfortunately is not happening. These two will not have the chance to meet. Maybe in 2027, maybe in 2028. We'll have to wait and see on that front. I sure hope that's what happens. Like, come on, dude. These two, they can't even control the trades. Like, they can kind of like leave the teams if they want to, but it's not necessarily guaranteed that the other team that they came from will take them back. It's all politics with this whole trading stuff, and in fact, I'm not really the biggest fan of the NFL drafts. I just think they're kind of stupid. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I want to talk about today. I know, not a lot here. Obviously, there'll be more stuff to talk about tomorrow when the Chaos case files do drop, and hopefully that's when they drop, of course. And apparently Infinite's supposed to be in that too, so I guess I'll have to make a video on that when it does come out. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.